A very good evening, everyone. We warmly welcome all of you to Stanford International Campus and also to the first session of the short course in email etiquette. So this is going to be a 2 days short course, and the resource person for the course will be Mrs. Navoda Herath. She's currently working as an English language lecturer attached to the University of Ruhuna. And she has experienced in teaching different levels of students from different backgrounds with excellent teaching techniques. And the main purpose of our campus and also of this course is to deliver a quality learning experience with a novel and unique approaches to learning and teaching. So we are here to offer you the best service possible and hope you will get the maximum benefit and knowledge from this. So with that, without further ado, we invite Mrs. Navoda Herath to start today's lecture. Happy learning, everyone. Over to you, Ms. Navoda.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Shahani. Yes. Okay, so let me share my screen first. Okay. Yes, kindly let me know whether y'all can see the screen. Is the screen clear to y'all? Hello, Ms. Shahani, is the screen okay?
Yes, Ms. Navoda.
Yes, right, okay. Yes, okay, yes. Yes, y'all can see it, right? Okay. Okay, so good evening. Yes. Okay, so this session is based on email etiquette, and then yeah, so we have actually adjusted the content to match all your levels. Okay, and then so like before starting the session, we actually got got few information collected from students, and from what we got to know, there are students who are in different levels. Okay, so I'll be catering to like all your needs, and then I'll be using both English and Sinhala language on and off, just to make it more clear to everyone. Okay, so in case I'm not clear, just let me know. First of all, am I audible enough? Am I audible enough? Can you all hear me properly?
Yes, we can.
Yes, right? Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay, so we have undergraduates, and then we have also people who are into diplomas, and then your higher studies and all that. And some of you are also into like different jobs. So like we'll try our best to cover all these things. Okay. Now email writing. Okay. Now email writing is actually a widely discussed topic nowadays. Okay. So most of the people, okay, within your companies and then outside also, you are like engaging in email communication a lot, and that's why it's important for us to know the like a proper way of doing it. Okay, so this is actually called the email etiquette. Okay, and since this is like a mediator through network, we call this netiquette as well. Okay, so like network mediated etiquette is called netiquette. Okay, so from email etiquette, what we are going to see is, I mean, the correct or is the accepted way of email communication. Okay, now with COVID-19 and all these things coming into place, okay, most of the people are working from home. Okay, and sometimes you might have technical difficulties, or as or as practical difficulties in sending documents and all that. So people are now more into email communication. Okay, and especially in Sri Lanka, in foreign countries, actually they are communicating a lot through emails. Okay, rather than circulating letters and stuff here and there. But with the pandemic especially, we can see like most of the people are trying to communicate more with emails. Okay, and then when you're communicating with emails, there are things that you need to know. Okay, I mean, your English can be really good, but then sometimes we might not know the proper way of communicating using an email. අපිට අපේ ඉංග්‍රීසි ගොඩක් හොඳ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අපි අර ඊමේල් එකක් හරියට කම්පෝස් කරගන්න විදිහ අපිට ඒකේ දැනගන්න අවශ්‍ය දේවල් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, yes. Let's start it. Okay, so I'm not going to talk much about the history and all that, but these are like a few interesting facts when it comes to email etiquette. Okay, so the first email was actually sent in 1971, and can you just imagine? So after like 50 years, okay, 40-50 years also, it is still famous, and then nowadays it's like it's kind of in its climax. Okay, so that's one reason is, okay, there are like many features available for you with emails. Okay, and that's one reason why it is like widely used still even after like 50 years. Okay, yes. And then now these statistics maybe like change now. Okay, I prepared this I prepared this few months ago. Okay, so like for within 1 minute, okay, within 1 second, people usually like send 2.8 million emails. Okay, it is that famous. Okay, and then if you're especially doing a job, okay, where you are required to communicate through emails, okay, you might be checking your email like 20-50 times. Okay, now in my case, average is like I usually check my email account 10 times a day. Okay, and then people who are into e-communication, it's a must for you to check your emails. Okay, අපි අනිවාර්යෙන් අපේ email එක check කරන එක අපි habit, that has to be a like a habit. Okay, so you need to have some time in your life, okay, I mean in your routine to check your email. Sometimes you might not notice email, sometimes when other people are sending you emails, you might get late to respond. Okay, අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි emails ඒ තරම් භාවිතා කරන්නේ නැති අය නම් අපිට respond කරන්න අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට පරක්කු වෙනවා. Okay, and then sometimes certain important matters get ignored. Okay, because you're not checking your email. Okay, so especially if you are into communication through emails, it's important that you know the etiquette, proper way of doing it. Plus you have to check your email account. Okay, so all that is important. Okay, and then it's like 86, now this is based on a research finding. Okay, so like 86% of professionals, okay, people who are into like jobs and all that, they prefer to communicate through emails. And also in the lesson we'll see why emails are still popular, and why most of the people prefer to use emails this much. Okay, yes. Okay, so let's first see why emails are this popular, because that can be important for you all as well. Okay, now why do you all like emails? Why do you all like emails communicate? Can you just tell me like few reasons which makes you interested in communicating through emails? Yes, anyone who would like to say why you would like to communicate through emails? Yes. Okay, let's now in my case, okay, I prefer email communication a lot because that is a good source of a record. Okay, so whenever I want something, okay, I can easily retrieve it back. Okay, so that's like one reason why I prefer to keep emails. Okay, mama e-communication emails sort of I mean it's just a matter of sometimes just a matter of typing one letter and I get the document that I want. Okay, so and then sometimes within your workplace, okay, some people might say, okay, I didn't receive it, okay, I didn't get it, okay, and then I was not informed about it. Okay, and sometimes some people might want you to send a certain document again, then document එකක් එවන්න කියලා. Okay, so if that is within your email account, that's very easier for you to send it back. Okay, even if you're in a bus, even if you're traveling, okay, it's very easy for you to share documents through emails. Okay, it's just a matter of like 2 seconds sometimes. Okay, and the other thing is now it has this feature. Okay, it can also hold attachments. Okay, apita attachments yawanna puluwan. Okay, you can send videos, okay, clips and all that. Okay, and then that's also one of the like fastest communication channels. Usually it takes like 2 seconds or is maximum like 60 seconds for an email to go from this corner of the world to the other corner of the world. Okay, මෙතන ඉඳන් අනිත් පැත්තට email එකක් යන කියන්නේ අනිත් වෙන රටකට උනත් email එකක් යන 1 minute. Okay, maximum 1 minute. Usually it is done within like few seconds. Okay, so that's again one reason, because you can get it done very easily. and that's also flexible. Okay, now flexible means, okay, if you have sent a document to a certain person, අපි කාටරි document එකක් යවලා තියෙනවා නම් අපි නම type අපි අකුරක් type කරපු ගමන් එයා auto suggest කරනවා. Okay, and now in emails, okay, they also like suggest you with words and all that, so highly flexible. Okay, and then it actually involves no cost on your part, okay, except the like charge. Okay, so these are like a few reasons why emails are so popular. Okay, so let's begin the session today. Okay, yes, now here I have a small activity. He will, okay, so these are, you actually call these things acronyms. Okay, these are like short forms that you can use when you're composing your email. Okay, now for example, NRN. Okay, and then now here all these things are not frequently used, but for the purpose of our discussion we'll try to discuss all these things. Okay, මේ හැම දෙයක්ම අපි emails වල use කරන්නේ නැහැ, and ඒ වගේම නිතරම use වෙන දේවල් තියෙනවා, අපි ඒව ගැන සාකච්ඡා කරමු. And also now these short like forms, okay, these things you cannot use it with everyone. Okay, and I will also explain you the situation when and where can you use these things. And the other thing is, now these things you need to know, especially when you're communicating with colleagues and all that, because one aim of email communication is to make communication effective and efficient. Okay, so you might have to use this. So can anyone tell me like what do you understand by NRN, or is what does NRN stand for? What does NRN stand for in email etiquette? අපි email එකක් යවනකොට දාන්න පුළුවන් NRN. What do you understand by NRN? NRN means NRN. NRN කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? What do you understand by NRN? NRN means no reply necessary. Okay, now sometimes imagine you are communicating with emails, okay, with the same person, like you have to send one, like you have to communicate with one person, let's say 10 times a day. Okay, දවසකට අපි 10 සැරයක් විතර 10 පාරක් විතර එක්කෙනෙක්ටම emails එයාත් එක්කම communicate කරනවා, maybe within your office. Okay, you have to communicate, you have to send documents, you have to like get certain information. Okay, and then you have to assign certain people to do things. අපි එක එක්කෙනාට එක එක දේවල් කරන්න කියලා assign කරනවා, එක එක purposes වලට අපි communicate. So NRN means, okay, no reply necessary. Okay, so sometimes you are just sending something and you are not expecting a reply. Okay, so if you're not expecting a reply, okay, because now imagine you are so busy. Okay, most of you all have tight schedules, okay, within your like job places and all that. So sometimes if you're not like expecting a reply for that, okay, it saves your time plus it also saves the time of the other person. අනිත් එක්කෙනාගේ වෙලාවත් ඉතුරු වෙනවා, අපේ වෙලාවත් ඉතුරු වෙනවා. මොකද අපි ඒ communication thread එක අපි එතනින් කියනවා you put NRN, කියන්නේ අපි මේකට reply එකක් expect කරන්න, so the other person is also not going to respond, but the thing gets done like smoothly. So NRN stands for no reply necessary. Now imagine you get an email. Okay, you get an email from one of your colleague. ඔයාලගේ colleague අපිත් එක්ක නිතරම වැඩ කරන emails වලින් communicate කරන කෙනෙක් අපිට email එකක් එනවා, and there you get to see NRN. Okay, so you are not supposed to reply for that as well. Okay, so likewise there are options. Okay, now let's see them one by one. Okay, because these things can be important for you all. Okay, so NRN stands for no reply necessary. Okay, yes, and then also like this can be important for you all. Okay, all this will not be important for අපි මේ හැම එකක්ම අපිට අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. Okay, so we'll try to like go through what are the like most important things for us. Okay, and the next one is PRB. Okay, PRB means please reply by. Okay, please reply by. Okay, now you put, okay, PRB by evening. So what do you understand by PRB by evening? PRB by evening means, or is PRB by 3 p.m. PRB by 3 p.m. What do you understand by that? PRB by 3 p.m. What do you understand by that? So PRB by 3 p.m. means, okay, තුනට කලින් reply එකක් එවන්න. Okay, tunata kali. So like rather now imagine you are in a like really tight schedule. Okay, so rather than typing please reply by. Okay, so if you just put PRB, the other person understands it. Okay, but usually when you're communicating with somebody who's hired you in rank, okay, you're not using these things. But other than that, in casual conversations, okay, that you have through emails, and then if you're communicating with one person like 10 times a day, or else if that is with one of your colleagues, අපේ යාළුවන්ට අපි කියන්නේ අපි අපිත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන අයට okay අපිට p short forms use කරන්න මොකද අපි හැමෝම මේක දන්නවා මේ වගේ දේවල් අපි දන්නවා හැමෝම okay and අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපිට වැඩි rank එකෙන් ඉහළ කෙනෙක් එක්ක communicate කරනකොට අපි මේ දේවල් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් use කරන්නේ නැහැ and also when you're communicating someone for the first time also you're not using these things but other than that just to make communication like quick okay and efficient you can use these options okay යාර ඔයගලන්ට මේ options use කරන්න පුළුවන් okay now when do you use STH මේ STH කියන්නේ අනිත් එකක් අනිත් තව ගොඩාක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ use කරන එක STH means hope that helps okay now imagine okay after the like at the end of the session okay you are sending me an email and asking me okay Miss, could you please kindly share your PowerPoint presentation? Okay, you want to get this PowerPoint presentation from me. So you are sending an email to me. Okay, so I send the PowerPoint and let's say like I'm having exams and then I'm in a tight schedule. Okay, so I send this to you and at the end I put HTH. Okay, hope that helps. Means I say, okay, hope this is useful to you. Okay, so if you are a nurse or else if you are a teacher or else like regardless of whatever the position you are, okay, sometimes you have to, some people might ask assistance from you, sometimes they might want you to send certain documents, අපිට එක documents එවන්න කියන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට අපෙන් clarifications ඉල්ලලා අහන්න වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, so you don't have time to like write long emails, okay? Unless you have a free time. Okay, so if you simply put HTH, okay, means we say okay somebody wanted a help from me and then I sent it, or if that's a document I sent it, and along with that I put STH means මං ඒගොල්ලන්ට කියනවා මේක useful ඔයගොල්ලන්ට useful කියලා හිතනවා. That's the kind of idea. So you can actually use these like simple things in your email communication just to make things efficient and then just to like add a very good impression to your write-up. Okay, now this one you all know, okay, WFH, okay, working from home. Okay, now these things, okay, now the thing is this, you might not be using these things frequently. අපි මේව නිතරම use කරන්න එකක් තමයි එක්ක අපි දන්නේ නැහැ නැත්නම් අපි use කරන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි අපිට මේවා දැනන් ඉන්න එකේ benefits තියෙනවා. Okay, that's why I'm like getting you all to go through some of these things specially. Okay, now TLTR means too long to read. Okay, sometimes people like type now let's say somebody like you're getting an email from somebody who's like lower to you in rank. අපේ working place එකේ අපි යටතේ වැඩ කරන කෙනෙක් කරේ කවුරු හරි අපිට එවනවා නැත්තම් let's say you are a lecturer, okay, you are a lecturer and then a student is like sending you this huge email, okay, writing all the problems and concerns that they have. Okay, technically you don't have time, plus that's also not clear. So if you simply put TLTR, okay, means you are saying too long to read. Okay, so either they have to make a phone call, okay, or else they'll have to like condense the content and send it to you. Okay, so they have to understand it. Okay, ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි supervisors ලත් එක්කෙන් වැඩ කරනකොට මේ වගේ situation සමහර කට්ටිය ගොඩක් දිග emails යවනවා, documents යවනවා. එතකොට අපිට අනිත් කෙනාට වෙලාව නැත්නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ එවන්න පුළුවන් TLTR කියලා. එතකොට TLTR, if you get to see TLTR, you need to understand that they are saying like they don't have time to go through this. Okay, so you need to come up with an alternative. Maybe you can make a phone call or else go and meet them and tell this, okay, or else you can like reduce the content and maybe send that again in point form. Okay, so these are some of the options. Okay, and next one, sometimes you will specifically get TLDR, okay, too long didn't read. So you have to understand the document that I sent was not read. මම ආපු document එක කියවලා නැහැ. Okay, so technically you must not get angry, but you have to understand the situation and respond accordingly. Okay, and then IDK stands for I don't know. Now this one is again frequently using email communication. එතකොට මෙන්න මේ FYI, okay, for your information, ඔබගේ දැනගැනීම පිණිස. Okay, so if you're sending a document, sometimes you might be sending circulars or whatever the important documents. So if you put FYI, for your information, that is the idea. Okay, yes. And sometimes like certain people might want you to like draft a document right at the spot and send it to like them. Okay, samahala tapen documents sometimes from an email you can just quickly type. Okay, like sometimes you are responding with the form. Phone emails okay, most of the people are sending emails through phones. Okay, sometimes you might find it lazy to log into your computer and then log into your Gmail account or Ymail account and send an email. Kamalala apita Gmail account log වෙලා Ymail එකට log වෙලා computer එකකින් යවන්න අපිට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට වෙලාවක් නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට phone එකෙන් යවනවා. But අපි phone එකෙන් යවනකොට when you are sending certain things from your phone, there can be certain limitations. අපිට limitations තියෙනවා. For example, one of your colleagues who's attached your workplace, අපි වැඩ කරන තැන ඉන්න අපේ colleague කෙනෙක් අපිට එවන මොකක් හරි document එකක් draft කරලා එවන්න මොකක් හරි. Okay, so simply now maybe you are traveling. Okay, you are in a bus. Okay, so simply like if you cannot do that, okay, you can put AFK, means away from keyboard. Okay, so away from keyboard means now here you are telling that you're not with your laptop or with the computer, means they will understand that this is not the time for you to like draft it and send it. Okay, අපිට අර simple reply එකක් නම් phone එකෙන් දාන්න පුළුවන්, phone එකේ තියෙන document එකක් යවන්න පුළුවන්. Other than that, now imagine you might have certain documents saved in folders in your computer. සමහරවිට computer එකේ folders වල අපි save කරලා තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, ඉතින් ඒ වගේ issues තියෙනවා. එතකොට now the moment you put AFK, the other person understand your situation. You don't have to say I'm not like I'm here in a bus. Okay, I don't have the laptop. You don't have to say those things. People easily understand. Okay, and this one is also frequently used, LMK. Okay, LMK means let me know. මාව දැනුවත් කරන්න. Okay, LMK if you need any change, if you want to add any changes to this document. මොකද අපි ඔෆිස් එකේ කමියුනිකේට් කරනකොට අපිට ওই වචන අපි නිකන් නිතරම කමියුනිකේට් කරන ඊමේල්ස් වලින් අපිට මේ වචන සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ටයිප් කරන්න වෙලාවක් නැහැ. So you can go for these options. Okay, and IMO means in my opinion. Okay, මට හිතන විදිහට. Okay, and BTW is also frequently used. Okay, BTW means by the way. Okay, BTW, I will not be able to attend tomorrow's meeting. Okay, and TYT. Okay, TYT means take your time. Okay, now imagine you are assigning a certain task to a person. Okay, at your workplace අපි කාට හරි මොන හරි වැඩක් කරන්න කියලා ආව assign කරනවා. And then if you put TYT means take your time, means you are telling okay you can do it leisurely, not in a hurry. That's the idea. අපි ඉතින් ඔය ටික කියන්නේ නැතුව TYT කියන එක දැම්මම අනිත් කට්ටිය අපි generally තේරුම් ගන්නවා මේක හදිසි දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. Okay, so there are things. So especially if you have got the opportunity to work with somebody who's from another country, you will get to see these things frequently used. Okay, they are using these things a lot. Okay, and OTOH means on the other hand. Okay, late means later. So these are again some of the features that you can use just to make communication efficient. Okay, so are you okay with this? Are you okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right? If you have any questions or concerns, just let me know, right? Yes. Now the thing is this, okay? So you might sometimes assume, okay, අනිත් එක්කෙනා මේවා දන්නවද නැද්ද කියලා. Okay, but as long as you are not going to use them, or as long as you are not going to make these things a part of your communication, they will not know. Okay, now for example, imagine you put TLDR. Okay, so the first time they might not know, but they will just specifically like see what is this. Okay, and then they will also use it. Okay, so once you are in the track, all these things will not be alien to you. Okay, අපි මේවා use කරන්න අපි හැමෝම මේ දේවල් වලට හුරු වෙනවා. එතකොට අපිට මේක අලුත් දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. Okay, yes. And then this one, okay, So in emails, you have like emoticons as well, but emoticons are not used especially when you're communicating for like professional purposes, okay? But again, with your colleague, okay, ape friend kenek nang, okay, apita hema emoticon ekak දාන්න පුළුවන් just to like break away the monotony and then just to like make it impressive and all that. හැබැයි අපි professional context එකදී ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට emoticons දාන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි අපි professional context එක උනත් අපේ යාළුවොත් එක්ක if you are like talking to them in a free manner, you can use emoticon option in emails. Okay, I'm not going to talk much about this because most of the people are not using emoticons in like professional situations. Okay, yes. Okay, now let's look at this. Okay, now here you get to see this pie chart. Okay, and then this pie chart is actually telling you, okay, where you get stuck. Okay, so what is the most difficult thing, or is what takes most of your time when you're trying to compose an email? Just think of yourself and tell me what takes most of your time. අපේ වෙලාව ගොඩක් යන්නේ මොනවටද email එකක් type කරනකොට? If you're somebody who's frequently into email communication, this might not be a problem. අපි නිතරම emails වලින් communicate කරන කෙනෙක් නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. But other than that, okay, for some people, okay, certain like things, okay, when you're composing an email, certain things take more time. Okay, now for example, okay, it says now according to the pie chart, what takes the most of your time? What takes most of your time? The pie chart එකට අනුගලන්ට email එකක් compose කරනකොට ගොඩක්ම වෙලා යන්නේ මොකකටද? What takes most of your time? According to the pie chart, but it can like you can have various like answers. Okay, you can have different answers. Yes, what takes most of your time? According to the pie chart, what takes most of your time? Just feel free to talk.
Thinking of the subject line.
Exactly. Okay, thinking of a good subject line, because sometimes, okay, you think you type it again, okay, you delete it and you think, okay, is this suitable? Okay, or else you retype it again and see, okay, do I have another way to type this? Okay, අපි subject line එක ලියන්න try කරනවා මොකද්ද දාන්නේ කියලා හිතනවා මේක පැහැදිලිද කියලා හිතනවා නැත්නම් මේක සුදුසුද කියලා අපි type කරනවා ආපහු delete කරනවා. Okay, sometimes you get confused. Okay, and then the next one is time I spend on introduction. This is also true. Okay, so for some people, the moment that you're going to start the intro is the most difficult thing. Again, අපි මේ email එක කොහොමද ලියන්න පටන් ගන්න කියන එක අපි හැමෝටම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ප්‍රශ්නයක්. Okay, that is because you are not used to some of the frequently used phrases. Okay, so at the end of the session, like I'm sure you will be okay with these things. Okay, and then body part, once you get the intro, අපි introduction again පළවෙනි වාක්‍ය ටික වාක්‍ය ලියාගත්තට පස්සේ අපිට email එකේ body එක compose කරන්න පුළුවන්, because you generally have like idea so as to what I should include here. But then the way you should start, then now imagine you are going to compose an email to somebody who's higher to you in rank. Okay, අපි working place එකේ අපි senior කෙනෙක්ට හරි අපි email එකක් compose කරනකොට අපිට හිතා ගන්න බෑ මම මෙහෙම පටන් ගත්තොත් හොඳයිද, මම මාව introduce කරලාද පටන් ගන්න ඕනේ නැතුවද පටන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Okay, මම කොහොමද මේක පටන් ගන්නෙ? Okay, so you have certain concerns. Okay, and the body part is kind of okay, but again it takes time. Okay, and then for some people it's the like signature. That's again I think that's owing to a fault that we have. මොකද මේ signature එකේ නම් ප්‍රශ්නේ ඉන්නේ, some people do not know how to use the signature block option. So in email writing you have this option called signature block. අපිට signature block option එක තියෙනවා. එතකොට ගොඩක් කට්ටිය signature block එකක් හදාගෙන නැහැ. Okay, so if you have a signature block, I mean, with whatever the email that you send, you don't have to type the name and send it. Okay, so the signature block will go like that, will go automatically. Okay, අපිට signature block එකක් නැත්තම් තමයි best regards කියන එකට අතින් type කරලා ආපහු නම දාන්න වෙන්නේ. Okay, so if you have a ready-made signature block, it will not be a problem. Okay, yes, and yeah, so this one. Okay, now green colored portion, what do you think about that? What do you seriously think about it? Editing, do people really take time to like edit the email, proofread and edit the email? අපි යවන emails ඇත්තටම අපි තව සැරයක් උවමනාවෙන් කියවලා වැරදි තියෙනවද කියලා බලනවාද? Most of the people don't do it. Okay? ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඒක අපේ අතෙන් වෙන්නේ නැති දෙයක්. But then I will tell you examples as we go on. මම examples දෙන්නම්. Okay? This editing thing or else you rechecking your email before sending it is a very important thing. Okay? That's one of the most important things in an email. Okay, especially if you are into the habit of sending emails with your phone. අපි phone එකෙන් emails යවන habit එකේ ඉන්නවා නම් අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අපේ content එක recheck වෙන්නම ඕනේ. Okay, there can be like like drastic mistake. Okay, so it's very important that you proofread your email before sending it. Okay, mama examples ඔයගලන්ට කියන්න. Okay, yes. Now again something I've seen is, okay, people are not using these address fields appropriately. මේ address fields කියන එක හරියට ගොඩක් අයගෙන් use වෙන්නේ නැහැ, ඒක misuse වෙනවා. Okay, now there are like different address fields. Okay, one is true. Okay, and then CC. CCC stands for carbon copy. Okay, let me also put that in the chat box. අපි CC එකක් කියන්නේ, okay, CC means carbon copy. Okay, carbon copy option එකට තමයි අපි CC කියන්නේ. And BCC, what does BCC stand for? If CC is carbon copy, what does BCC stand for? Yes,
blind carbon copy.
Blind carbon copy. Okay, so these carbon copy and then blind carbon copies, they have their own functions. ඒගොල්ලන්ට වෙනුන functions තියෙනවා. නැත්තම් අපිට එහෙම function එකක් නැත්තම් අපිට මේ true option එක විතරක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්නේ. Okay, why do we have other address fields? Okay, now the problem is this. You need to understand their like specific functions. අපි හරියට තේරුම් ගන්න මොකද්ද මේගොල්ලන්ගේ ඇයි මේ functions තියෙන්නේ? ඇයි මේ දේවල් තියෙන්නේ කියන එක. Okay, so BCC stand for blind carbon copy, and I will explain them. Okay, blind carbon copy. Okay, now let's see. Okay, now CC, sorry, true option. Okay, so in the true section, okay, you have to put the name or the names of the main recipients. Okay, now main recipient, අපිට main recipient කිව්වම මේක අපිට හරියට define වෙන්න ඔයගලන්ට හිතා ගන්න බෑ කොහොමද main recipient decide කරන්නේ. Now now whenever you are sending an email, okay, you are sending it to somebody with the hope that they will take the responsible action for the responsible thing for the action mentioned in the subject line. Now in the subject line we are mentioning a certain thing. අපි subject line එකේ හරි email එකේ හරි මොනවා හරි දෙයක් mention කරනවා. එතකොට අපි මේ to option එකේ දාන්නේ ඒ action එකට respond කරන්න මේ ඒ action එකට ප්‍රතිචාර දක්වන්න ඕන කෙනාගේ නම. Okay, so in the to section, remember you are always putting the main recipients who are supposed to respond. අපිට මේකට respond අපි යවන email එකට mainly respond කරන්න responsibility එක තියෙන අයට තමයි අපි true section එකේ දාන්නේ. Okay, මම example එකක් ගන්න. And the CCC, okay, CC option එකෙන් අපි ගන්නේ carbon copy option එකේ we are taking the secondary recipients. Okay, now secondary recipients, if you are using these address fields appropriately, අපි මේ address fields හරියටම use කරන්න දන්නවා නම්, okay, now people who are in the CCC option, okay, you are actually sending it for them for reference and clarity purposes. Okay, so they don't have to take an action necessarily. අපි මේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට carbon copy option එකේ දාන කට්ටිය මේ අපි email එකට respond එකක් අත්‍යවශ්‍යම නැහැ. හැබැයි අර ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ දැනුවත් වීම සඳහා ඒ වගේම මේ කමෙනි මේ අපි කතා කරන දේ වඩාත් පැහැදිලි කරගන්න තමයි අපි ඒගොල්ලන්වත් මෙතන දැනුවත් කරලා තියන්නේ. Okay, දැන් අපේ අය නම් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේක වැරදියට මේ options දෙක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ නැහැ හරියට. ඒ කියන්නේ action එක ගන්න ඕනේ, reply කරන්න ඕනේ හැමෝම එක්ක අපි to option එකේ දානවා නැත්නම් මාරු කරලා එක්ක to option එකෙත් දානවා, CC option එකෙත් දානවා. දැන් ඇත්තටම මේ options තියෙන්නේ ඒවට වෙනම functions තියෙනවා. Okay, and then BCC stands for the blind carbon copy. Okay, now there can be certain instances. Okay, now you want to like make certain things confidential. Okay, and then now imagine like you are in a group, okay, you are assigned with a certain group එකක් assign කරලා තියෙන්නේ, okay. Look at a group එකේ. Now let's say that you have a group leader, okay, and then whenever you're communicating matters with others, okay, sometimes it might be important for you to keep your head informed that this kind of a thing is happening. සමහර වෙලාවට අපි මේ දැන් අපි group එකක් මොකක් කරේ අපේ group එකක් තියෙනවා අපේ head, okay, දැන් අපි කට්ටිය emails වලින් communicate කරාට සමහරලාට head අපි නිකන් දැනුවත් කරලා තියෙන මෙන්න මේ විදිහ දෙයක් වෙනවා කියලා. So what you can do is you can sometimes copy, like put them in the BCC option, blind carbon copy option එකේ දාන්න පුළුවන්. So other people don't get to see. අපි email එකේ යවන people who are in the 2 option and people who are in the CCC option cannot see people whom we have mentioned in the BCC option. අපි BCC option එකේ නම දාන කෙනාව 2 එකේ CC එකේ ඉන්න අයටයි පේන්නේ නැහැ. Okay, so most of the time you can use these things for like confidential matters. Okay, now sometimes there can be certain people, okay, sometimes people who are in the like 2 and the CC section must not know, okay, like to whom else like you are sending this. So there you can use a BCC option. අපි දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට කම්පැනිස් වල එහෙම වෙනවා. සමහර කට්ටිය කියනවා හෙඩ් එක ගිහිලා නෑ මට කිව්වේ නෑ අපිව දැනුවත් කරේ නෑ. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ වෙලාවට සමහරවිට අපිට BCC option එක අපිට එහෙම issues තියෙනවා නම් ඔයගලන්ට BCC option එක use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Then like other people don't get to see that you have emailed this to this particular person. So it remains between 2 of you. Okay, same email thread, but then you are like like you're breaking out rules. Okay, so it's something like that, but you have to again use these things wisely. අපි හරියට මේ features use කරන්න ඕනේ. Okay, so that is important. Okay, and then yes, CCC and the BCC options. Okay, මේවා අපි හරියට ඒකේ situation එක අනුව use කරන්න ඕනේ. නැත්තම් මේ වගේ අපි එකක් තමයි අපි මේ වගේ තියෙන ඒ functions ගන්නෙත් නැහැ. අනිත් ඒවා අපි මේවා හරියට වරද්දලා use කරන්නේ. Okay, so especially in cases where you need to like make certain things confidential and all that, you can go for the BCC option. Okay, so let me like rephrase what I told you a few minutes ago. Okay, so in the 2 option, you are putting the main recipients, means the main people who are responsible for the action mentioned in the subject line. Subject line එකේ mention කරලා තියෙන action එකට directly responsible අයව තමයි අපි 2 එකේ දාන්නේ. CCC they are not necessarily expected to respond to you, or else like they can respond to you, but they are not responsible for the action. Okay, as much as the people who are in the 2 option. Okay, but then for references, okay, so they are also informed of this communication. Okay, and for clarity purposes you are using the CC option, and then for BCC, okay, BCC option, the other parties will not be able to see it. Okay, now let me put this in a like situation and show it to you. Okay, now imagine you are a lecturer. Okay, so if you are a lecturer, let's say you are a like yes, you are a lecturer, and then you are sending a certain, or else you are supposed to organize something. Okay, so when you're supposed to organize something, you're organizing this thing with the other probationary lecturers. Okay, you are a senior lecturer and you are organizing this thing with the other probationary lecturers. So if they are supposed to do that action, you can put their names in the 2 option. You can make අපි කරන වැඩේ responsibility එක තියෙන probation lecturers න ඔයගොල්ලන්ට යාව type කරලා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ නම් ටික type කරලා දාන්න පුළුවන්. But you also want to keep your head informed. Head will not take an action, but then they are also informed of the like type of communication that is happening, or else the like type of information that is being shared. Okay, අපි share කරගන්න information ගැන මොකක්ද මෙතන වෙන්නේ කියන එක ගැන අපි head වත් දැනුවත් කරලා තියන්න ඕන නිසා you can put them in the CCC option. Okay, එයා action එකක් ගන්නෙ නැත්තම්. Okay, just to keep them informed. So likewise, depending on your situation, depending on your requirements, okay, concerns, you can use these options. Okay, but again now imagine, okay, let's say, okay, you have a like you're going to send this email to like so many people. Api me email එක ගොඩක් අයට යවනවා. Okay, so if you are sending an email to so many people, අපිට නිකන් හිතන්න බෑ මම කට්ටියක් 2 එකේ දානවා කට්ටියක් CC එකේද. එහෙම හිතන්න බෑ. So you need to have a purpose behind allocating people like that. Okay, එතකොට සාමාන්‍ය rank එක අනුව දැන් අපි හැමෝටම කතා කරනවා නම් අපි හැමෝටම මේ වගේ අනිවාර්යෙන් headsලා deansලා ඒගොල්ලෝ අපි 2 option එකේ දාන්න ඕනේ. Okay, but if you are not if you are communicating, if you are having the direct communication with other parties, you can put them in the 2 option. අපි කොහොම හරි 2 option එකේ දාන්නේ main recipients ලා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි යවන email එකේ තියෙන ප්‍රධාන ක්‍රියාවට responsible කට්ටිය තමයි අපි 2 option එකේ දාන්නේ. Is this clear to you all? Is this clear to you all? Address fields, any questions from address fields? Anything you want me to clarify from here? Yes.
Excuse me. Miss,
Yes.
what about email campaigns?
Email campaigns, like what do you want to know about email campaigns?
So basically, when we are going to do the email campaigns, we are put our recipients emails in the BCC, but we
Yes.
have to show our superiors, that's been our supervisor, to show we are going to send those emails to these kind of people. So is it better to put them also in the CCO too?
They are like now you just want to keep them informed, right? So if
Yeah.
you just want to keep them informed, better to put them in the CCC option, because then that is just for referencing purposes. Hello.
Okay.
That is, then you are just going to keep them informed. Okay, so this is like these people are also here. Okay, so if that is for referencing, you can put them in the CCC option, not a problem.
Thank you so much.
Okay, yes. So can we move, can we go ahead? Can we move on to the other slide? Any questions? Okay. Okay, now this can be important for people who are communicating a lot with emails. Okay, now with like no email writing, letter writing. Okay, you have now, if you take letter writing, okay, again there are block format, semi-block format. Okay, so these formats also, they have a specific purpose. The emails or is like English language. Okay, let's say English language and all these like email writing and then letter writing and all these things. Okay, these are also like changing. Okay, with timely requirements and then other requirements, these things are changing daily. It's like something like language evolvement is also like something that is so much similar to technology. Okay, so things are changing rapidly with certain like things happening outside. Okay, so with that we have this new thing called one thing rule. Okay, there's this rule called one thing rule. This can be specially applied to people who are communicating a lot through emails. Okay, ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට emails වලින් නිතරම communicate කරන කට්ටියට තමයි මේ one thing rule එක apply වෙන්නේ. Okay, now other people. Okay, now I will also explain the situation. Okay, one thing rule says that an email must have only one purpose. Okay, let me put that in an example. Okay, now imagine you are sending an email to a lecturer. Okay, අපි course unit එකේ coordinator හරි කාට හරි email එකක් යවනවා. Okay, so from the same email, okay, sometimes students are asking us about, okay, the questions that we will get for the final exam, and they are also talking to us about an exhibition that they are organizing. Okay, and in the same email, okay, they are talking about a certain grade or is a point that we discuss in a lecture. ඉතින් එක email එක ඇතුලේ ඒගොල්ලෝ organize කරන exhibition එකක් ගැනත් කියලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට exam එකට එන questions ගැනත් අහලා තියෙනවා. Okay, එතකොට exam එකේ කතා කරපු දේක් ගැනත්, so like totally different things. Okay, so all that is in one email. So now one thing rule is opposed to that. Okay, one thing rule says that you have to confine one email to one purpose. Okay, අපි එක email එකක් එක purpose එකට confine කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. Especially this is applicable if you are communicating a lot through emails. අපි නිතරම emails වලින් communicate කරනවා, you can apply the one thing rule. Okay, now let's see. So according to one thing rule, an email should cover only one specific item, one specific task or request at a time. So if you are making a request, okay, you cannot have like so many other things included there. Okay, if that is about one request, so that email is based on that thing. Okay, so let's look at one example. Okay, one email should not include both client report revision notes and a scheduling question for the quarterly meeting. So this quarterly meeting and then client report revision notes, two different things. Okay, so better you send two different emails regarding this rather than putting two different things in the same email. Okay, sometimes now let's say if you're a doctor, okay, so you're asking about like maybe you are going to talk about a union matter, and then you are also asking somebody about a certain report or something. Okay, so don't put all the things in one email, just try to apply the like one thing rule. Okay, so if that's now let's take this example that I've given here. If it's about client report revision notes, okay, client report revision note එකක් නම් ඒකට අපි වෙනම email එක ඇතුළේම අපි ඊළඟට schedule වෙන meeting එකක් ගැන කතා කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. Okay, so that is what you mean by one thing rule. But again, sometimes people are so uncomfortable sending so many emails to one person. අපි lecturer කෙනෙක් එක්ක එහෙම ගොඩක් වෙලාට කතා කරලා ළමයි හරි බයයි අපිට emails එවන්න. Okay, එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ හරිම අමාරුවෙන් එක email එකක් හදාගෙන ඔය email එක ඇතුලේ ඔක්කොම වෙලාවකට හලෙවනවා. Okay, but now what are the disadvantages that you will get when you are not following the one thing rule? What are some possible disadvantages? අපිට වෙන්න පුළුවන් මේ අවාසි මොනවද අපි one thing rule එක නැතුව මේ හැම දෙයක්ම එක email එකේ දාලා යවනකොට. Yes, what are some of the like disadvantages that we might get when we are trying to pack all the information in one email and send it and finish it off? What are some disadvantages? Now other people who are responding to you, okay, they are also humans. Okay, so they will sometimes answer you, or sometimes the most important thing will be answered and other things will be ignored. So in order to get the answers for the other thing, you will have to call them again or else send another email. සමහරවිට අපි දැන් මේ ඔක්කොම එක email එකේ pack කරලා යවනකොට වෙන්න පුළුවන් එක disadvantage එකක් තමයි ඒගොල්ලන්ට අපි email එක යවන කෙනාට වැදගත්ම දෙයට අපිට reply එක දෙන්න පුළුවන්, අනිත් ඒවා ignore වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, and then also they might get confused. Okay, so now you might have realized, okay, so when these things happen, people say, no, I said that in the email. Okay, like මම ඒක නෑ මම ඒක කියලා එවුවා මම අර වෙලාවෙ කිව්වේ මෙන්න මේ දවසේ කිව්වේ. Lots of confusion. So in order to like make the process so smooth, okay, you can go ahead with these options. Okay, yes, so it's like easier for the recipient to like understand, and they can also easily process and act upon it. Okay, so these are the advantages of one thing rule. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි email එකේ යවන කෙනාට අපි කියලා තියෙන දේ පහසුවෙන් තේරුම් අරගෙන ඊට අදාළ response එක දෙන්න පුළුවන් වඩාත් ඉක්මනට අපි මේ විදිහට email කියන්නේ one thing rule එක follow කරනවා නම්. Okay, and there's another thing. Okay, now sometimes, okay, now with email communication you actually need to like at least imagine other people are busy. අපි emails යනකොට ගොඩක් අඩු ගානේ අනිත් කට්ටිය busy කියන එකවත් අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. Okay, so there's another thing. Okay, so when asking severals now about the same topic, sometimes we are asking several information. So if you're asking several information about the same topic, you can go for bulleting. Okay, you can go for bulleting. කියන්නේ අපි එකම දේ ගැන අපි එකම task එකේ කොටස් කිහිපයක් පිළිබඳ අපිට විස්තර දැනගන්න ඕනේ. Okay, so there you can go for bulleting. Again, it makes your task easier. Okay, let's see. Or is bulleting? Yes, let's see. Okay, I need you to review these 3 items before we release the sketch to the production team. I need you to review these 3 items before we release the sketch to the production team. Okay, so you have clearly like listed out what are the 3 items. Okay, content, design, and color choice. Okay, now if you are sending a certain document to somebody on a certain task, okay, now let's say you are organizing a certain exhibition or something. or is workshop or something. Okay, so if you want to know, let's say you want to know about the budget and the like number of heads and all that, so the information or the specific details that you want to know, better you put them in bulletins. Okay, then again, that's like very easy for the other person to respond. Okay, and then you will get your specific questions answered very easily. Okay, so these are some of the options again. Now let's say you are an undergraduate. Okay, you are an undergraduate and you are communicating with your supervisor. Api undergraduate kini api supervisor te chorus, you are doing your master's, PhD or whatever. Okay, so when you're communicating with your supervisor, you might have certain like questions that you should ask. Okay, maybe you need to you have a certain question about the like research design. Okay, or is the sample. Okay, so whatever the points there, like whatever the things that you want to know, you better put them in the point form. Api point form making එක දාන එක හොඳයි email එකේ, then that's easy. එතකොට අපි email එක දැක්ක ගමන් අපි දන්නවා මෙයාට මෙන්න මේ දේවල් පිළිබඳව තමයි උත්තර දැනගන්න ඕනේ. So we will also answer accordingly. So the communication is easier for both the parties. Are you okay with the one thing rule? Are you okay with this? Okay or not? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right? So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, okay? Yes. I'm using both the languages, okay? Because we have requests from people to conduct it by using both the languages, okay? Yes. Okay, and the subject line, okay? Now, the subject line is a very important thing. But again, from what I have seen, most of the people are not going correctly with the subject line. Subject line when you talk about the subject line, this is how you first need to realize it. Okay, අපි ඉස්සලම subject line එක මෙන්න මේ විදිහට imagine කරගන්න ඕනේ ඇත්තටම. Okay, now when you're sending an email to somebody, okay, that will go to their inbox like this. Okay, so whatever the like subject line you put, okay, so which appears first, your subject line or the body? In an email, when you're sending it to somebody else, in their inbox, which appears first? The subject line or the body? Which appears first? අපිට ඉස්සෙල්ලාම වෙන කෙනෙක්ට අපිට කාගෙන් හරි email එකක් එනකොට අපිට ඉස්සෙල්ලාම පේන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ subject line එක. We get to see the subject line. Okay, we get to see the subjects. So you need to understand it like that. අපි යන්නේ ඒ දේ තේරුම් අරගෙන තමයි අපි subject line එක දාන්නේ. So now let's say you are sending this email to your boss. Okay, so you kind of need to imagine, okay, so for his inbox, my email will go like this. Okay, so your subject line has to be clear enough, and it also has to be descriptive enough, and it should contain critical information. Okay, now let me explain what Greek is that. Okay, yes, now let's see this one. Okay, now usually that, but again this depends. Okay, now when you're writing the subject line, you are asked to use characters in between 35 to 40. Okay, අපි 35 to 40 characters use කරන්න කියලා තියෙන්නේ. What do you understand by characters? Words or letters? Characters means words, the letters.
Letters.
Letters, okay? Now here, letters including the spaces. Okay? Letters including spaces. Okay, so if you're writing a very good, because sometimes if it is too long also, that is not good, and if it is too short also, the function is not achieved. Okay, so now when you're writing email, when you're writing the subject line of the emails, you are advised to use in between 35 to 40 characters, but it can be 45 as well. Okay, don't go like above that. Okay, so remember, so if you have to write a very good subject line, you can use in between 35 to 40 characters. Okay, and it also have to be descriptive enough. Okay, now let me put it like this. Okay, so let's say you are a lecturer. Okay, api lecturer kenek. Now a student is sending you a presentation. Okay, so maybe a level 3 student on a particular course unit is sending you a presentation, and in the subject line they have just put presentation. Now what are the consequences of this? What are the problems? What are the practical problems that we will come across? presentation කියලා විතරයි අපිට එවලා තියෙන්නේ. So what are the possible problems that you might come across? අපිට තියෙන පුළුවන් ප්‍රශ්න මොනවාද මේ වගේ දෙයකදී? What are the possible problems? Now, is that the only presentation that you are getting? Is that the only presentation that we are getting?
You will not be able to identify the subject.
Exactly. Okay, you will not be able to identify. Okay, whoever like you will not be able to identify what is this. Okay, so when you fail to understand or else identify what is it, okay, chances that you will have to contact them and see and go deep. But when you have like done that smoothly, we specifically know. Okay, now if you have at least mentioned this code or is the subject code, then the moment we see it, okay, we know, okay, this is the presentation that is due for this particular course unit. අපිට අඩු ගානේ course unit එකවත් ඔය subject line එකේ පේන්න තියෙනවා නම් අපිට එතකොට now from your inbox, okay, you will get to see it like this. So here presentation, and then you at least when you get to see the subject line, okay, you know, okay, who is sending this. Okay, now imagine if you are a nurse, okay, you are sending a certain report, or else if you are if you are working attached to the laboratory, okay, if you are sending a report, if you just put report, which report? Okay, other people are getting, you are sending a report to a doctor, which report? Okay, that's not the only report that person is getting. Okay, so you always need to provide critical information. Okay, so your subject line has to be very clear enough for the other people to understand. Actually, a very good subject line will be like a summary of your body part. Okay, ඒ කියන්නේ අපි හරියට ලියනවා නම් ඒ කියන්නේ අපි subject line එක දැකපු ගමන් ඒගොල්ලන්ට idea එකක් යනවා මේ මොකක් ගැනද මෙයා කියන්නේ. Okay, now the consequences of not getting a proper subject line is that your email will get ignored. අපේ email එක ignore වෙන්න පුළුවන්, or else you might not get the expected answer. Okay, but when you're providing critical information, if you're writing a very good subject line, the other people can understand it very easily. Okay, so let's do a small exercise. Okay, just tell me what are the well written ones. Now some people minutes, okay, they just put minutes. Which minutes? Okay, that is a problem. Okay, and some people, they are not putting minute, they are not putting the subject line at all. Okay, now what do you think about this first one? Meeting minutes. What do you think about this first one? Well written or poorly written? Well written or poorly written? Yes. What do you think about the first subject? Let me first subject line again. Well written or poorly written? Yes. Is this well written or poorly written?
Poorly written.
Poorly
Why?
written.
Why?
Because it knows to need what meeting, and the subject mainly it's not mentioned there.
Okay, that is not mentioned. Okay, but again from this number, okay, I mean, if you're following the track, okay, from this number it can be visible, but it's better to at least say, okay, which meeting, right? Okay, what do you think about the second one? Weekly minutes. Weekly minutes.
Yeah, the name of the meeting is also not mentioned.
Okay, otherwise now the problem is this. Okay, for you, okay, you might think, okay, for you this can be the most important thing, but other people, they might be attending to different other meetings. Okay, so that's when this is problematic. Report. Which report? What do you think about this one? Report.
It doesn't also specify what does it pertain to.
Exactly. Okay, so you have to specify, okay, which report. Okay, that has to be included. And sometimes some people are not putting a subject line at all. Okay, so that's actually a crime. Okay, so we have to read through it and then understand what is it. Okay, and sometimes just to say how it facilitates you, okay, emails, when you're not putting the subject lines, okay, it appears in this box and asks whether, okay, are you going to send this without the subject line? ඊමේල් එක අපි යවන්න හදනකොට subject line එක නැතුව එයා ඇවිල්ලා අහනවා මේක subject line එක නැතුව යවුවට කමක් නැද්ද කියලා. Okay, so it is that flexible. So subject line you have to put, and then sometimes this doesn't happen always, okay, but sometimes it happens when you don't put the subject line. Sometimes it goes to the spam box. සමහරවිට අපි subject line එක දාන්න තුනම එයා එහෙම spam box එකට යනවා. Okay, yes, next one. 65th meeting of the Board of Trustees. What do you think about this one?
Well written.
That is okay. Okay, you kind of get to know, okay, what is this? So imagine this is going to appear in your like inbox. Make up a inbox එකට ආවම අපි කෙලින්ම දන්නවා මේ මොකක් ගැනද කියලා. Okay, next one. Staff work known from request for suggestions. Well written or poor written? Staff work known from request for suggestions.
It's quite okay.
It's quite okay, because the moment you get to know, okay, you know, okay, this is regarding this, and then we are supposed to give our suggestions. Okay, next one. Now imagine you are an undergraduate. Reminder, IS 3010 assignment submission deadline. The moment you get to see this, yes, මේක දැක්කම ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙනවද මේ මොකක්ද සම්බන්ධෙන්ද කියලා තේරෙනවද නැද්ද?
Yes.
That is okay, right? Because now if you are a lecturer or if you are somebody who's into the field of education, okay, like when you send things like that, okay, then people know, okay, what is this assignment, and then it's also like about the deadline. Okay, so very clear. The cause unit is also mentioned. Okay, yes, and then sometimes you are sending like links and all that. Okay, I had few examples, so I will share it to you all on the next day, okay, because I have to hide information and share those things. Next, in my next session, I will also like share all this like real life examples with you. Now, see links, you are just in the subject line, you are just putting, okay, here are the URLs. Okay or not?
Poorly
Okay.
written.
That is poorly written, okay, and especially if you are sending these to somebody who's hired you, that's actually a sign of disrespect as well. Okay, අපි මේ වගේ මිනිසුන්ට නිකන් links කියලා මෙන්න links කියලා යවන්න නැහැ. Okay, so there's a proper way of doing it. Okay, and this one, application for the post of software engineer.
Well written.
That is well written. Again, if you are somebody, if you are looking for a job, if you are a student, you need to understand this very clearly when you are sending job applications. Okay, don't put CV. Okay, නිකන් CV කියලා යවන්න එපා, because certain companies, okay, they are entertaining bulk applications. Okay, and they might be advertising for different posts. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හිතෙන්න පුළුවන් මේ මගේ post එකට විතරයි advertise කළා, එහෙම නෙමෙයි. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඔය එක advertisement එකක් ඇතුලේ post ගොඩකට advertise කරනවා. So they are advertising for different posts within the same advertisement. Okay, so if you are just going to put the CV, okay, chances that you will get kicked out even before coming to the interview. Okay, because like nothing is mentioned. If so, especially when you're sending applications for jobs and all that, okay, at least when you're sending your CVs, resumes and all that, just put, okay, resume for the post of English teacher, okay, resume for the post of intern. Okay, so specify it like that. Okay, otherwise they get so many emails, okay, and they have advertised for so many posts, so they have to read through your CV, and then you know, like they have to guess. ඒගොල්ලෝ ගොල්ලන්ට guess කරන්න මොන post එකකටද මේ ඉල්ලලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. So don't make things tedious like that. Okay, and then here's another frequent one. Okay, so people asking for leave. When you ask for leave, people just put leave. What do you think about this one? Leave. Is this okay or not? Leave. Yes?
It's not okay.
It's not okay. And then how should we correct this? Leave. At least you need to put your name. Okay, otherwise people do not know like what is it. Okay, and then there's another thing. Okay, but this is like this is not that okay, let me show it to you. Okay, now here this, you don't have to follow this per se, but if you type your subject line like this, it is very clear. Okay, now try to capitalize each first letter in the word. okay, in every word when you are writing your subject line, but you don't have to capitalize all these prepositions and articles prepositions capitalize karanna ඕනේ නැහැ. Other than that, okay, try to capitalize the first letter of each word. okay, අපි title එක ලියනකොට මෙන්න මේ හැම වචනයකම පළවෙනි අකුර අපිට capitalize කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් හොඳයි. හැබැයි articles prepositions capitalize කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Now here weekly means it's better if you can capitalize M in the second word. okay, blank subject line, if you can capitalize this L, that is better. okay, but you don't have to capitalize off. From F you don't have to capitalize, F you don't have to capitalize. okay, අපි සමහරලාට capital simple mix එකක් විදිහට ලියනවා, මේවා capital වලිනුත් ලියනවා, මේ පළවෙනි අකුර simple දානවා, එහෙම මෙන්න මේ වගේ අපි මේ විදිහට ලියනවා. Don't write it like this. okay, so but that's up to you, but this is how I usually do it, because then that is very clear. okay, harima neat එතකොට. So if you can try to follow that. okay, so did you understand how to write a proper subject line? Are you okay with this? Can we move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right. okay, so just like these are some of the things for you to just go through. okay, yes, and the salutation. Now this is again a like very important thing. okay, now if the person to whom you are addressing, if they have a title, okay, now professor, doctor, whatever if they have, you can put dear and then put the title like this, and then the surname. okay, surname make a darne. okay, and you can put the comma like this, and then if they don't have a title, you can just put okay, dear Mr, Mrs, Miss, and all that. okay, now imagine you are not sure. okay, you are sending this, you are composing this email to a lady, you are not sure whether they are married or not. So are you going to end up putting Mrs? This is a crime. okay, sometimes people get so angry with these kind of usages. okay, සමහර කට්ටියට මේ ඉතින් Mrs කියලා හැම මේ Miss නම් Mrs කියලා තියෙනකොට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට තරහ යනවා. ඉතින් now you don't realize, okay, certain people, okay, when you are communicating, these are like minor things, but then they take you in a long way. okay, sometimes if a person gets to see like she being addressed as Mrs, okay, they might get angry. okay, and they might take it personally. so if you are not sure about their marital status, better to put Miss, MS, Miss, and then put a dot and then write the name. okay, if you are not sure. okay, and then if you are if you are sending it to somebody who's higher to you, okay, again if you are not sure about the gender, අපිට gender එක sure නැත්නම් අපි කාට හරි sir කෙනෙක්ට හරි madam කෙනෙක්ට, you better put sir or madam. okay, and then if that's just for a colleague, you can put dear Nihal, okay, hi, friends lot, okay. okay, and then sometimes okay, sometimes you have to, especially when you're sending your CVs and all to like advertisements, okay, they might not specifically say to whom you should send it. සමහරවිට අපි top jobs වල වගේ portals වල බලලා අපි CVs forward කරනකොට අපිට ඒගොල්ලෝ කියලා නැහැ කාටද මේක එවන්න ඕනේ කියලා. okay, so in a case like that, if they have not mentioned, okay, if that's for a job, you can put okay, dear hiring team, not a problem. okay, dear hiring H capital, team T capital, dear hiring team. And let's say you are sending an abstract for a like conference or something. okay, so nama mention kala natham, okay, api conference eකට abstract එකක් වගේ යවනවා නම්, okay, you can put dear editing team, ඒ වගේ දාන්න පුළුවන්. okay, now sometimes, okay, this is also applicable to all in letter writing වලත් මේක ඔයගලන්ට applicable. okay, sometimes you just get to see the mail address. සමහරවිට අපි mail address එක විතරයි දාන්නේ. it's not for a job එකකටත් නෙමෙයි, mail address එක විතරයි දාන්නේ. අපි ඒකට මොකක් හරි අවශ්‍යතාවයකට mail එකක් දානවා. so if you don't know anything, okay, you can put to whom it may concern. okay, to whom it may concern, but in a letter now this is not relevant to that, but I will also like tell you about this. now when would you put to whom it may concern in a letter? අපි letter එකක් ලියනකොට to whom it may concern කියලා දාන්නේ මොන වගේ අවස්ථාවකද? Yes. okay, since we are running out of time, I will also explain it. okay, now imagine there's somebody who's working under you. okay, අපි යටතේ වැඩ කරන කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා කියලා, and they are asking for a like recommendation letter or something, okay? Letter of recommendation or something, but you don't know to whom they will show it in future. So in cases like that, when you necessarily do not know to whom this will be given, you can put to whom it may concern, okay? Yes. Yes, and then the closing, okay? Now the closing is done with the signature block, okay? Do you all know about the signature block, or is shall I like tell you about the signature block as well? Yes. Okay. Let me put it like this. Okay. Now it's a signature block. Okay. When you go to your email account, okay, when you go to the settings, after email account settings next day I will show you signature block එකක් නැති කට්ටිය ඉන්නවනම් මට පොඩ්ඩක් inbox එකේ වන්න පුළුවන් the direct message එකක්. Can you just let me know if you don't have a signature block, so next week I can help you. I mean, I will commonly help everyone to form it. If you already have a signature block, no need to like touch it again, okay? But if you don't have, I'm willing to like show it all on how to do it, okay? Let's see. Now signature block, okay? Signature block is very important, especially when you are doing a job. අපි job එකක් කරනකොට අපිට signature block එකක් තියෙන එක අනිවාර්යෙන් වැදගත්. නැත්නම් අපි හැම email එකම best regards කියලා දාලා අපේ නම දාන්න ඕනේ. Now the signature block, okay? Now sometimes some people are maintaining 2 email accounts, okay? සමහර අයට email accounts දෙකක් තියෙනවා, okay? Email accounts, when you have 2 email accounts, okay, for your personal email account, you don't have to put a signature block per se. Okay, ඒක අපි personal email account එකක් විදිහට use කරනවා නම් signature block එකක් නැති වුණාට කමක් නැහැ. Otherwise, sometimes it might get problem because your post and your designation and the place where you call those details go unnecessarily. Okay, but for your like working mail address, okay, it's important that you're going to have the signature block. එතෙන්ට අපිට signature block එකක් තියෙන එක හොඳයි. Then with whatever the email that you send, your signature block goes automatically. And next day I will also show you how to get the signature block. මම අනිදාස පෙන්නන්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ට signature block එකක් අපි හදාගන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. Okay, so in the signature block, okay, these information are going, okay? You have to include your first name and the last name and the position within the company. Okay, if you have a phone number or is a fax number, you can include both. Email address not necessary, but if you want, you can include it, okay? And the company address and the if you have LinkedIn accounts and all that, okay, now if you are into a job, you have LinkedIn accounts, LinkedIn accounts තියෙන. LinkedIn account එකේ links යවට කමක් නැහැ. Okay, ඒකේ LinkedIn address එක දැම්මට කමක් නැහැ. Okay, yes. Now let me show you a few samples. Okay, so this is a signature block that is suitable for an undergraduate. Okay, may undergraduate කෙනෙක්ට suitable එක. So in my one also I have added best regards to the signature block. මම නම් best regards කියන එකත් signature block එකටම add කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Otherwise I have to type best regards all the time. So I have added it to the signature block. Okay, now see, name is here and then these details are given. Okay, so this is one. And if you are working, these are good subject line for you. Okay, you can put your name. අපිට අපේ නම දාන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ company එකේ අපේ designation එක. Okay, if you are a system analyst, put that. Okay, so whatever the job, you have to put it. If you are a management assistant, just put it. Okay, if you are a development officer, you can just put the title. Okay, and then you have to write the name of the address of the company. Okay, and then your contact details. Okay, phone number phone number email address okay, LinkedIn account එකක් වගේ තියෙනවා නම් ඒවත් දාන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, this depends. At least you have to put your name, your designation, address and the contact numbers. ඔය ටික නම් අනිවාර්යෙන් අපි දාන්න ඕනේ. Now in my case, next week I'll show you. Okay, in my case, I have put my name, my designation, and then the address of the place where I work, okay, and then my contact number. All that is there, okay, in my signature block. Okay, so next day, I will show you how to form your signature block. Okay. Yes, so let's like summarize whatever the things we discussed so far about the email etiquette. Okay, so in the heading. So these are the like basic 4 parts that you have in an email. මේ කොටස් හතර තමයි අපිට තියෙන්නේ. To, from, and then like date actually you are not putting, okay, date එක email එකත් එක්ක automatically යන්නේ, and then the subject line and the greeting, okay. Yes, you know about the greeting, how to salute, and the body and the closing, okay. Yes. So if we are to like recapture what we discussed so far, okay, these are the things that you need to follow when you are writing an effective email, okay. Be sure to include a meaningful subject line. Be sure to include a meaningful subject line, okay. Meaningful subject line එකක් දාන්න. Now I think you all know how to write a meaningful subject line, and also use an appropriate greeting, okay. ගැලපෙන greeting එකක් දාන්න. Write clear short paragraphs and be direct and to the point, okay. So when you're writing emails, this is another thing that you have to follow, okay. We don't pack information, we don't pack all the information in one paragraph, okay. So in emails you actually go for clear short paragraph. අපි email එකක් ලියනකොට සමහරවිට අපි ගොඩක් කෙටි emails ලියන්න පුළුවන්, සමහරවිට email එකේ body එක ගොඩක් දිග වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So if it's a bit longer one, make sure that you are going for clear short paragraphs, okay. පැහැදිලි කෙටි paragraphs වලට යන්න, okay. Yes, and also use appropriate language, and then these are must, okay. You have to proofread before sending your email, okay. අනිවාර්යෙන් email එකක් කියවන්න, especially if you are using your phone, okay. There can be the predictive text on. Predictive text එක on වෙලා තිබ්බොත් they auto suggest certain words and phrases for you. So if you are not careful, they might ending suggesting an inappropriate word or a phrase. අපි හරියට බැලුවේ නැත්තම් ඒගොල්ලෝ ගැලපෙන්නේ නැති word එකක් හරි phrase එකක් හරි suggest කරන්න පුළුවන්. So you might be in a trouble, okay. So better to proofread it because of those reasons. And also you need to add a proper complimentary clause, okay. Yes, and add their signature with contact information. And complimentary clause එකේදී with love ඒ වගේ දේවල් නම් අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. Best regards, okay, kind regards අපි ඒ වගේ දේවල් තමයි දාන්නේ, okay. Yes. Yes. Okay, this is important, okay. Now this is like why it is important to proofread, okay. Now sometimes, okay, we are attaching something, okay, but we say in the body part we say, okay, here with I have attached. අපි body part එකේ කියලා තියෙනවා මම attachment එකක් කියවනවා කියලා. හැබැයි attachment එක එවලා නැහැ. attachment එක දාන්න නැතුව අපි email එක යවලා. So what will happen to you when you are careless like this? If you are not proofreading in these situations, you will have to send another email with the attachment. It was a attachment එක එවනවා කියලා එවන්න නැතුව email එක යවුවාම අපිට ඊට පස්සේ attachment එක වෙනුවෙන් වෙනම email එකක් ආපහු compose කරන්න වෙනවා. So these are problems, okay. So it's very important that you proofread, okay, because when it comes to attachments, remember අපි attachment එකක් යවනකොට, okay, අනිවාර්යෙන් මතක තියාගන්න ඕන දෙයක් තියෙනවා. So if you are sending an attachment, අපි attachment එකක් දානවා නම්, in the body part you have to say that you are sending this attachment. අපි body part එකේ කියනවා අපි attachment එකක් එවනවා කියලා. And in the body part, if you have mentioned that you are sending an attachment, you need to make sure that you have attached the document or the whatever the attachment that you're planning to send. Okay, so that thing you have to do it with proofreading. Okay, proofread කරලා බලන්න. මම attachment එකක් එවනවා තියෙනවද කියලා කියලා තියෙනවද? නැත්නම් මම attach කියපු attachment එක මම ඇත්තටම attach කරලා තියෙනවද? Now when you're sending attachments, certain people, especially students I have seen, they are sending, if that's an assignment or something, they don't say that they are sending that assignment. ඒ assignment එක එවනවා කියලා body part එකේ කියන්නේ නැහැ. නිකන් assignment එක දානවා. Sometimes just their name. And in the like attachment section, the assignment is there, but they don't necessarily say that they have attached, which is very bad. Okay. Yes. Okay. And then let me also talk about this whole thing about formal and semi-formal emails. Okay. Now for some of y'all, okay, your language can be really good. Okay. And then some of y'all language can be hyper sophisticated as well. Okay, but then emails, okay, you cannot expect that the other person will also have the same command in the language. අපිට expect කරන්න බෑ අපේ language level එකටම competency level එකටම අනිත් එක්කෙනාගේ competence එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. And anyway, the purpose of email writing is to අපි email එකක් ලියනකොට අපේ purpose එක තමයි to get the thing done efficiently and effectively. Okay, so for that you have to you have a certain way that you should write. Okay, now let me take these two examples. Okay, now here the same content is expressed in two different ways. එකම දේ ක්‍රම දෙකකට අපි මේ කියලා තියෙනවා, and let's see which one is clear for you to understand. Formal. Okay, I'm submitting the attached document with high hope that it complies to all stipulated requirements and that you will grant your approval. Second one, please approve this document if it meets all requirements. Which one is easier for you to understand quickly? Which one is easier for you to understand quickly? Which one is easier for you to understand quickly? අපිට ඉක්මනටම තේරුම් ගන්න පහසු මොකක්ද?
The second one, semi-formal.
Exactly, the second one, semi-formal one. Okay, so email writing, okay, better to follow the semi-formal style. I mean, you don't have to you don't have to waste word unnecessarily. අනවශ්‍ය විදියට අපි words waste කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. It's okay, but then this kind of looks weird sometimes. Okay, so better to follow the semi-formal style because that is easier for the other party as well. මොකද අපිට තියෙන language command එක අනිතාට තියෙයි කියලා හිතන්න බෑ. අනිත් මිනිස්සුන්ට මේ වගේ මේ ගොඩාක් එකම දේ නිකන් අර ගොඩාක් නිකන් වනලා තියෙනකොට කියවලා තේරුම් ගන්න ලේසි වෙයි කියලා අපිට හිතන්නත් බෑ. So better to stick to the semi-formal style. Okay, yes, especially business emails are following the semi-formal style. Okay, අපි මේ විදිහට hyper formal වෙලා ලියන්නේ නැහැ emails. Okay, just remember that. And tone. Okay, so tone, now you can actually use capital letters just to highlight the tone. අපිට email එකක tone එක highlight කරන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රමයක් තියෙනවා. Okay, and this is one way. Okay, let's look at these two examples. Vacation request must be submitted at least 2 weeks in advance. Vacation request must be submitted at least 2 weeks in advance. Which one is more stricter? Which one gives you a more stern tone? First or the second one?
The second one.
Second one. Okay, second one is kind of like sometimes it might appear rude to you. Okay, now imagine you forwarded a certain application asking for like vacation leave. Okay, and then you get a reply from your boss like the second one. Means you the kind of idea that you get is, okay, maybe like it's not something that I should have done. Okay, so දෙවෙනි එක බැලුවොත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට rude expression එකක් කියලා හිතන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, so unless it is really necessary, do not use capital letters to highlight certain information. But sometimes when you're working in a group, okay, you might have a certain group member who's not working and then trying to fulfill their duty on time. So අපේ group එක ඇතුලේ ඉන්න පුළුවන් හරියට වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ, task complete කරන්න නැති කෙනෙක්. So there, when you want to convince them thoroughly, you can use the second option, but just don't use it all the time. Okay, yes. What do you think about the first one? Is that okay? Vacation request must be submitted at least 2 weeks in advance. What do you think about that one? Is that okay? Compare that with the second one. Which one is okay? Obviously the first one. Okay, so when you want to highlight certain special information or a specific information, you can go for this bolding option rather than using capitalizing option. Capitalize, you can capitalize when you want to convince something thoroughly. අපිට කෙනෙක්ට අවධාරණය කළ දෙයක් කියන්න ඕන නම් අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ටිකක් rude tone එකක් එන්නේ capitalized letters use කරොත්. But if you go for the bolding option, it will not give a rude look. Okay, අපිට ගොඩක් විශේෂ තොරතුරු highlight කරන්න හිතෙන්න ඔයගලන්ට bold option එකට යන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, yes. And yes, okay, so here I have put a few sample emails for the body parts. Okay, let's see. So this is an email, okay, where you are apologizing for one of your clients. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry, the reconstruction requires your department to share printing and copying resources for the next 2 months. It will cause delays for you during construction, so please accommodate this in your plan. Once the construction is complete, we'll have 40% capacity increase, so the inconvenience is well worth it. අපි job එකකදී අපි කෙනෙක්ගෙන් apologize කරලා අපිට කරන්න බැරි දෙයක් කියනකොට you have a way to say that. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm regret to inform you that. Okay, so that is the way how we start it. Okay, let's look at next one. I would appreciate your feedback on the draft agenda. If you have any edits, please then by tomorrow, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Okay, call to action means you are getting somebody to like perform a certain action. Okay, you want them to like let you know about it. Okay, it's a very brief one. Again, next one. Okay, Geet, can you forward the survey to all staff by Friday at noon, please? Okay, now this one, now imagine this third one. Okay, I'm talking about the third one. මම තුන්වෙනි එක ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. දැන් තුන්වෙනි එක, now imagine you are sending a common email to all your employees. Okay, අපි හැමෝටම common email එකක් දානවා employees ලා හැමෝටම. But you want one person to especially perform one. අපිට ඒ email එක හැමෝටම දාන email එක අපි එක්කෙනෙක්ට විශේෂ දෙයක් කියනවා. Okay, මොකක් හරි දෙයක් එයාට assign කරනවා. So there, okay, once you are done with the main mail, you can leave one line and put, okay, name of the person and put the colon and put, okay, can you forward the survey to all staff by Friday at noon, please? Okay, so you are assigning them with a specific action. ඒ වගේ අපි කෙනෙක් විශේෂ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට විශේෂ මොකක් හරි ක්‍රියාවකට අපි ඒගොල්ලන්ව ඩිරෙක්ට් කරනකොට අපිට එකම email එකේ මේ විදිහට දාන්නත් පුළුවන්. Okay, let's see. You may find this technical writing resources useful in preparing reports. So this is how you provide reports. Okay, sorry, this is how you provide links. මේ එක situations වලට තියෙන samples ටිකක්. Okay, මේ emails වල තව සම්පූර්ණ වෙන්න අපි කොටස් තියෙනවා. මම මේ phrase එක තමයි ඔයගලන්ට දීලා තියෙන්නේ. So when you are sending links, okay, you can incorporate that particular link as a part, or else you can put it separately as well. But in a sentence, you have to send that you are sending these links. Okay. Okay, so again, this is a bit longer email. Make it a bigger email. මේ දවස්වල ඔයගලන්ට යවන්න වෙන emails. Okay, but when you really type this on your like Gmail account, this will look so small. Okay, අපි Gmail account එකේ මේක type කරනකොට ගොඩාක් පොඩි lines කිහිපයක් විතරයි එන්නේ. Okay, so again, like I thought of giving this, so in case you want, you can just see like yeah, it would fall. Okay, let's see. I, Miss Manoja Pereira, I am writing. Okay, see, I. So you are introducing yourself. අපි introduce කරලා තියෙන්නේ කවුද කියලා. Okay, අපි මෙතන, so this is one way of writing. I, Miss Manoja Pereira. See, I කියලා අපි මෙතන පටන් ගන්න නිසා, so here I you have put a comma and then am. Okay, I, Miss Manoja Pereira, am writing. Okay, අපි සමහර වෙලාවට emails එකකට අපිව introduce කරලා email එක දාන්න වෙනවා. Okay, I, Miss Manoja Pereira, I'm writing here to let you know that I have been suffering from severe cold and mild fever for the last couple of days, and I'm afraid I may not be able to report to work tomorrow onwards until I'm cured. I have already seen a doctor, and the doctor advised me to take bed rest for the next few days. I understand a tight schedule we have at the office due to the ongoing projects, and therefore I think I'll be able to manage to do certain tasks on my laptop if I dedicate some hours to work from home. Okay, therefore I kindly request you to consider my situation and grant me permission to work from home for the next few days. As usual, I'll be reporting the progress of the work by the end of the day and whenever needed by the phone. Okay, herewith I am also sending a copy of the doctor's medical report for your perusal. Thank you in advance. Okay, and then with an asterisk. Okay, you are highlighting an okay, kind request to approve my work from home application. So just suggest a proper subject line. Make it a galapin subject line. Suggest karan bala. Just suggest a suitable subject line for this one. Suggest a suitable subject line. Galapin subject line suggest karan bala. Suggest a suitable subject line.
Work from home request.
okay, request to work from home, or else you can work from home application, and like you can put your name as well. Okay, if you have so many people, ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙනවා ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ company එකේ ගොඩාක් කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා කියලා. සමහරට boss අපිව personally දන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම situations තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Sometimes certain companies have like 500 employees. They are better to put your name, but in case if they like know you very well, you can just put it like that. Okay, so this is one sample. Okay, now here we are basically telling that I'm not well and I was asked to like rest. Okay, මට bed rest කරන්න කියතේ නිසා මට දවස් කිහිපයක් මේ ගෙදර ඉඳන් වැඩ කරන්න අවසර දෙන්න කියන එක තමයි මේ email එකේ basically අපි කියලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay, okay, let's look at this one. Now here the name is not mentioned. මම කවුද කියලා නෙමෙයි මේ email එකේ පටන් අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ. Okay, same thing is written in a different way. Let's see. I'm writing this email to request you to provide me an opportunity to work remotely from my home. As I'm staying with my aged parents, I do not want to take any risk by traveling. I hope you can understand my situation and kindly allow me to work from home until the COVID cases decrease, or at least until we all get vaccinated. I shall be thankful to you in this matter. Thank you. It's another way. Okay. Okay, another one. Okay. And this is a kind request to allow me to work from my home. Recently, my family members have tested positive for COVID. Even though I have tested negative, I don't want to take any risk of spreading virus through me. Hence, I'm requesting you to please consider my request to work from home for the next 2 months. Once the COVID cases start falling, then I start coming to office. I hope I can manage my work effectively from my home like in the office. So please consider my request. I don't think like you will have to send these kind of emails now. Okay, everyone is requested to report to work now. Okay, yes, just wanted to like show you some sample emails. Let's look at another one. Unfortunately, I've been tested positive for COVID, and as per doctor's advice, I have to stay in self-isolation in my home. Even though I have tested positive for COVID, okay, here T is simple, okay. But for COVID, I don't have any major symptoms related to it. So I can continue my work from my home. So here I would like to request you to please please give your permission to work from my home until I test negative for COVID. Okay, so another one, and let's look at one more sample. Okay. Please be informed that a meeting has been scheduled on. Okay, we are like informing about a meeting. Okay, you can put the date to discuss. We are telling the purpose. Okay, we shall meet at, you can put the location and the time. We will also be joined by Mr. or Mrs. whatever from, let's say, the accounting department. Okay, and then අපි මේ meeting එකක් ගැන email එකෙන් inform කරනවා. So here the following points will be discussed, and you are putting the points. The first point, second point, and extra. And let's see, please inform me if you would like to add anything to the list above. All suggestions and questions are highly welcomed. Kindly acknowledge the email and confirm your attendance. Please make sure to be on time as you always do. Looking forward to seeing you all there. Now, how do you acknowledge emails? How do you acknowledge? Acknowledging means now this acknowledging email is a very important thing. Email එකක් acknowledge කරන එක ගොඩක් වැදගත් දෙයක්. Okay, now acknowledging means you inform the other party that you received it. අපිට මේ email එක හම්බුණා කියලා අපි අනිත් කට්ටියට කියනවා. Okay, so how do you usually acknowledge emails? Now in certain situations, it's very important that you acknowledge the email. අපිට සමහර අවස්ථාවලදී මේ email එක අපිට ලැබුණා කියලා කියන එක ගොඩක් වැදගත්. Okay, so simply you can put okay, received with thanks, okay, noted with thanks. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි මේක දැක්ක කියන්නේ. Now I will also put that in the chat box. Okay, you can simply acknowledge it right. Okay, noted. Okay, noted means අපි මේ ගැන දැනුවත් වුණා කියන එක. Noted with thanks. I put this in the chat box. Okay, noted with thanks. Okay, so if you get a certain document or something, you can put okay, received with thanks. Okay, ඉතින් මේ එකක්වත් දාන්න බෑ නම් අඩු ගානේ අපිට noted කියලාවත් දාන්න පුළුවන්. Noted. So this is how you acknowledge emails. අපි email එකක් හම්බුණා කියලා acknowledge කරන්න හිමයි. Now for this meeting, okay, if you are going to be there for the meeting, you can write, okay, received with thanks, I'll be there. Or else simply I'll be there. Or else noted and I will be there. So this is how you acknowledge it. Okay.
Excuse me, madam, how to respond for an invitation?
Invitation also you can receive with thanks, we'll be there. You can put something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Better is like just at least if you cannot make it now, sometimes we will not be able to make a sudden decision so as to we are going or not. But better to acknowledge the email telling that received with thanks. මොකද අපිට එකපාර decide කරන්න බැරි වෙයි අපි යනවද නැද්ද කියලා. හැබැයි අපි mail එක එක invitation එක හම්බුණා කියන එක හරිය කියන්න පුළුවන්. Received with thanks would do. Okay? Or
Okay,
else if you are definitely going, you can put received with thanks, I'll be there. Okay? Yes. So to sum up what we discussed for the last few hours, okay, so when you are writing an email, you have to show the respect to the other person, because you might not get to see the person, but it's very important that you are showing the respect, okay, because apita me api face to face hambela communicate karna wage nime, if your tone goes wrong, okay, if the other person feels okay you are rude towards them, okay, that's not a very good thing, okay. So you have to respect the other person, the way you salute them, okay, and even in the body part, okay, there are certain phases, and in our next session we are going to discuss about all these things, okay. Next session is really important for you all. Yes, just give me a minute. Okay, yes, somebody is experiencing like I think the sister is experiencing a power cut, okay, but be here for the next session, okay. Next session is really important for you all. In the next session we are going to do it for like real, and I'll also be including you like phases, okay. Now here the other one is in email etiquette, your spellings, okay, punctuation and grammar, all this is important, okay, especially grammar and all these things important, because by reading your email other people are going to just get an idea about you, okay. So that's why I told you. But now the computer or else your phone might be suggesting you phrases, or else your Gmail account itself might suggest you phrases. You can use them, but see whether they are appropriate. Sometimes, because it's a machine, okay, it's a machine, sometimes they will not be able to like get what you really want. So but you have to be careful, okay. අපි ඒ phrases ඒගොල්ලෝ suggest කරාට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපිට ඒ options ගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි බලන්න ඒක අපිට හරියටම ගැලපෙනවද කියලා. And spellings also sometimes the computer highlights and suggests you, okay. Even the spacing they suggest you, okay. Even if you have double typed a letter, අපි 4 කියන එක එක ළඟ ලියලා තියෙනවා, that is also they are showing you, okay. So before sending the email just always proofread it, okay. Yes, sometimes you must do hilarious things, so you have to like you have to be very careful, okay. Yes, and then your email has to be correct and concise as well, and then you have to follow the like correct e-manners, okay. A salutation, and then you need to have a proper complimentary close, signature block, and all that. Yes. So these are things that you have to like you must do and you must not do, okay. Now let's say using abbreviations and emoticons, okay. Now abbreviations you can use, but I explain you the context. When you're talking to your boss, okay, you might not have to use abbreviations. අපි අපිට වැඩි rank එකකින් නැත්නම් තත්වෙන් ඉහළ කෙනෙක් එක්ක කතා කරනකොට නැත්නම් අපි නොදන්න ආයතනයක නැත්නම් අපි කෙනෙක් එක්ක පළවෙනි වතාවට කතා කරනකොට අපි abbreviations emoticons දාන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. emoticons නම් අපි ගොඩාක් අර close at එක විතරයි දාන්නේ, okay. Other than that you are not using emoticons, okay. But abbreviations, if you are communicating with someone daily, okay, if you want to get things done easily, you can use abbreviations, okay. And usually we do not use block letters to write emails unless you want to like highlight something specifically. But for highlighting purposes, generally you can use bolding option. Generally අපිට දෙයක් highlight කරන්න ඕන නම් bolding option එකට යන එක තමයි ගොඩක් හොඳ capitalize කරනවට වැඩිය, okay. And this one, dividing the content into paragraphs, this is a very good thing, because in emails you are not packing all the things into one huge paragraph, Okay, so emails are actually going with short, clear paragraphs. Okay, api paragraphs breakdown ekata yanawa kene keti paragraphs වලට බෙදලා තමයි අපි ලියන්නේ. Okay, and then using language gender bias. Now this is a very important thing. Okay, now imagine you are not sure, okay, whether you are sending, whether you are addressing a male, woman, or a man. Okay, so in cases where you are not sure, okay, you can put dear sir or madam. Okay, so always see how you should write it. Okay, and taking too long to reply to emails, that is actually bad. Okay, so if you have the opportunity to reply to an email, okay, just make sure that you reply very quickly. Okay, and then if somebody reply you quickly, අපිට කවුරු හරි අපි email එක දාපු ගමන් අපිට කවුරු හරි reply කරොත් ඉක්මනටම, it's very nice of you to say, okay, thank you for your prompt reply. Okay, ඔබගේ ඉක්මන් ප්‍රතිචාරයට බොහොම ස්තුතියි, අපිට ඒ වගේ දෙයක් කියන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, something like this. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your prompt reply. Okay, thank you for your prompt reply means you can ikman praticharaට ස්තුති කියලා. Now sometimes you see certain people, you know, they are really busy, but the moment you send the email, they send you the answer the next minute. Okay, so there it's nice of you to say like thank you for your prompt reply. Okay, yes. And then you have to use proper grammar, spelling, and punctuation. I've told you these things. Okay, writing paragraphs when giving out instructions. Now this is something that you have to see clearly. You're not supposed to write paragraphs when giving. Now from email sometimes we might give instructions. Api email එකේ instructions දෙනවනේ මෙහෙම කරන්න කියලා. So when you are giving instructions with an email, make sure you are going for bullets or numbers. Okay, api instructions දෙනකොට email එකක් මාර්ගයෙන් ඒව paragraphs විදියට ලියන්නේ නැහැ. We are usually going for bullets or numbers. Okay, but again, now numbers and bullets also, there's like a way that you have to use. Okay, we are usually using numbers when we are talking about a sequence. Api sequence එකක් ගැන කතා කරනකොට අපිට numbers දාන්න පුළුවන්. Other than that, if you are just giving a list or something, okay, you can go for bullets. Okay, and then sending credit card and other account information, that is not something that you should do, because sometimes you log into your email account from the computers of other people and sometimes you will forget. Okay, so emails, you have to be careful, so don't share like let's say confidential things. Okay, and then if you are a lecturer or teacher or somebody, if you are not only a teacher, if you want to share certain like confidential things, at least make sure that you encrypt them with a password. Okay, password එකක් දාලා encrypt කරන්න හැටිත් මම ඊළඟ week එකේ කියලා අපි ළඟ දවසේ මම කියලා දෙන්න. It will just take like 1 minute. Okay, I will also tell you that. Okay, so if you are sending certain like important documents, okay, Excel sheets and that, okay, make sure you use the like make sure you encrypt them with the password. Okay, and then using the title Mrs., though you are not sure whether the person is married or not, that is not something that you should do. Okay, better to use Miss if you don't know whether they are married or not. Okay, yes, and then saying hello on the subject line, this is not something that you should do. Okay, api subject line එකේ hello hi කියලා දාන්නේ නැහැ. Okay, and using bullets and numbers to make points, like make the message more clearer. Okay, that is okay. And using passive voice most of the time. Okay, you don't have to use passive voice most of the time in email writing. Okay, so any questions from what we discussed so far? Any questions? Any questions?
Madam, now for the emails that we receive as CC, are we supposed to reply to all, or that depends on the situation?
Okay, now if we are in the CCC option, okay, now the problem is this. Okay, it is twofold, because the person who's sending to you must use the CC option correctly. I mean, they need to have an understanding, okay, to whom I should CC and to whom I should put it in the 2 option. Okay, now sometimes even though you are put in the CCC option, okay, when you read it you might notice, okay, I have to like reply it. Okay, so if that is like most of the time, okay, if you have to reply, it's okay to reply. But again, now when you have like, when you are in a thread, okay, when you are in an email thread, okay, unless this is not necessary, try to reply directly to that person. Don't go for the reply all option, especially when you are in the CCC option. Because if you are in the CCC option, it means that you are not the like mainly responsible person. Okay, but the other person who's sending to us need to have an understanding about this. හැබැයි අපිට මේ email එක එවන කෙනා මේක දැනන් ඉන්න ඕන 2 option එකේ මම දාන්න මෙහවලාව CC option එකේ දාන්න මෙයා ඉතින් යා ඒක හරියට දාන්නේ නැතුව මේ අපිව CC එකේ දාලා අපිට උත්තරයක් දෙන අවස්ථාවක් එයා create කරලා තිබ්බොත්, if that person has created us a space where we have to answer, we don't have any other option. Even though we are in the CC thing, we have to reply. But again, this replying, okay, when replying, okay, in case you are not supposed to reply all, okay, always try to reply just the person. Okay, yes. So what I'll do is I have the next yes.
And we'll imagine that I'm writing to a third party, an agency, asking for a quotation.
Yeah.
So I don't know the person to whom I should really address. Given that the vendor is below me, am I to mention or to address them saying dear madam or sir? Or is there any particular other way of addressing it?
Okay, so like if you now, most of the cases, okay, sometimes they can be below you, they can be below you in terms of rank. Okay, so in case the person is below you in terms of rank, you don't have to address them with sir or madam. Okay, now there are like in a case like that, there are 2 options. Okay, one is, okay, especially if that's an agency, okay, you can actually email, or else if there's a contact number, you can get to know the person, because you cannot just put dear sir or madam. Okay, that is also gone. So you cannot put dear hiring team as well. And then now in a case like that, sometimes you can address them as, okay, dear like manager and all that, but you cannot address like that if you're not sure. So the best is you have to like contact and know like to whom you're addressing. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපිට මේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකේ හරි බලලා ඒ කවුද ඩීලර් කියලා බලලා එයාගේ නමවත් trace කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් හොඳයි. Okay, or else if you are generally addressing them, you can put to whom it may concern. Okay, because if all these options are gone from you, you can put it as to whom it may concern. අපිට call එකක් දීලා හොයාගන්න විදියක් නැත්නම් rank එකනොත් ඒගොල්ලෝ අපිට පල්ලෙහෙන්නම් ඉන්නේ, අපිට කිසිම idea එකක් නැත්නම්, okay, අපිට to whom it may concern කියන option එකට යන එක තමයි වඩාත්ම සුදුසු. But in case if you have the opportunity to like contact, or is from internet, if you can trace their details, better to trace it and then address them accordingly. Okay, for example, you don't address people as dear officer. අපි dear officer කියලා එහෙම address කරන්නේ නැහැ, unless it's for a like a somebody who's in the army එකේ ඉන්න කෙනෙක්ට ඒ වගේ අර අපි officer කියන එක අර අපි නිකන් use කරන්නේ නැහැ. So you don't have that option as well. Okay, yes. Any other questions? Any other questions? Now let's say something like this. Okay, you are sending a CV or something, නැත්නම් අපි නැත්නම් කෙලින්ම HRM එකට නැත්නම් hiring team එකට address කරනවා. There you can directly hiring team. Okay, editing team. There you don't know the corresponding person, but then you can address to the team. But in your case, if you don't know, better to like make a call and just get to know like who this person. Most of the time you will get details. Okay, එක call එකක් දීලා නැත්නම් අපිට internet එකෙන් price කරගන්න පුළුවන්. If you don't know, if you cannot call them as sir or madam, better to use to whom it may concern. Any other questions? Okay, so like I have the rest of the session to be continued, okay, which I actually need like another 2 hours, okay. There in this session, in the forthcoming session, I'm going to now, I know you all have practical problems and concerns, okay, so we are going to discuss phrases like this, okay. See, okay, how to like start an email, okay, how to like make it like social, okay. Now if that's a business thing, okay, I will also like bring sample emails, okay, how like so as to how you should address a separate agency and a manager. I'll also bring those samples, and then we are going to look at so many phrases, okay. So at the end of the session, I'm sure you will be able to do a good job. So these phrases we are going to discuss, okay. How we are expressing the purpose, how should we reply, reply එකක් දෙන්න පටන් ගන්න කොහොමද, and how should we apologize, especially in a business context, okay. Okay, attachment එකක් තියනවා කියලා කියන්නේ කොහොමද, and then how we are going to request and make inquiries, okay, how we are going to ask information, clarifications, sharing information. So we are going to discuss all these things in our next session, and then I'm also going to like show you all how to come up with the signature block, and then we are going to discuss sample emails in relation to your jobs, okay. So before winding up the session, kindly let me know your jobs and the post as a direct message. At least the like your post would do, not the place. Then I can draft few samples for you all. Yes. Kindly let me know where your work, or is at least your like position, then I can draft few emails. Okay, I think I can get that from Shahani as well. Not a problem there. Okay, yes, not a problem. So that's the end of today's session, and I'm going to meet you all on next day. And next day we'll discuss about all these phrases and stuff, and we'll try to compose emails within the session, okay, in relation to your specific fields and requirements. Okay, so you can leave the session, and good night, and see you all on next day. Thank you for joining with us.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, I think
Thank you.
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Good night.